Hi everyone. Okay, I'm back. I just want to show you the prophecy I was talking about in the lives of the prophets. That's pretty astounding. Okay, that I was just talking about in my last video. Here we are in the life of Habakkuk. Okay, it's found in the life of Habakkuk. On the PDF, I will link it below. We're on page 48. Okay. Bear with me 1 second. Okay. Here we go. We're pretty much talking about messianic prophecy. What happened when Yeshua was crucified? The veil of the temple was ripped, okay? What is yesterday will be again. So, here we go. Concerning the end of the temple, he foretold that he would be brought to pass by our western nation. Okay, that's Assyria. Alright, we've been talking about, that's the Joel 2 army. Then he said, the veil of the inner sanctuary will be torn to pieces, and the capitals of the two pillars will be taken away. The capitals of the two pillars. All right, here we go. That's Samson right there. Okay, who are the two pillars? It's Ephraim and Assyria, I think. That's what I believe. Really? Okay, my system totally froze. I'm assuming it's just still recording. So the capital of the two pillars will be taken away. I think that is the wicked. When we read Obadiah, we see what happens, that God sends the heathen to cast out the heathen, the worst of the heathen to cast out the heathen. All right, you think our Satanists and our enemies are real tough and all that stuff? Well, Yah has people coming from the pit that are even tougher, and they're gonna condemn the heathen, and then Yahuwah is gonna rebuke them all. Okay. And so the capitals of the two pillars will be taken away. Here we go. That's an emulation of Samson. We can read about this in Obadiah. That's Samson in the shape of the cross, knocking down the two pillars, and everything comes down. And that's the death of the Messiah. We read of this in Isaiah 10. Because Isaiah 10, it's a prophecy where Messiah is Assyria. It's like morphed into one. The lights go out and the wrath of God comes, and it's talking about the Messiah and it's talking about Assyria all at the same time, as if they're ordained to do the same thing. I don't know. Okay, so that's interesting, okay? And no one will know where they are, but they will be carried away by angels into the wilderness where in the beginning the tabernacle of witness was pitched. What's this tabernacle of witness? This is the order of Enoch, the order of the ancients, the called out assembly. It just goes on and on. The order of Melchizedek, okay, which was in the beginning. And by them in the end, the presence of the Lord. All right, let's cover the tabernacle of witness. This is the Garden of Eden. All right, this is where we go when we die. Check it out. Let me show you, okay? Here we are this is my YouTube video in the writings of Abraham, okay? I couldn't find the page, but check it out. For this is a prophecy of Elijah in the writings of Abraham to restore the order of Enoch, to restore the order of Melchizedek, the called out assembly, guys. It's the same thing. The Garden of Eden, I'm about to show you, the Garden of Eden was the church, okay, that Adam and Eve were called to maintain, okay? By the time Enoch came around, it's just shadows of the Garden of Eden, of what's to come in our future. Okay? That's why when Yeshua came, the scribes and Pharisees, like the corruptions we see in the Dead Sea Scrolls, when the scribes and Pharisees came, they were corrupting Yahuwah's Garden of Eden, which is the kingdom. Okay? So this is a prophecy of Elijah when he's to come, for upon him shall rest the priesthood of the fathers, and he shall commence the organization of that holy order which was in the beginning of the world, which shall be consummated before the Son of God shall walk again upon the earth. So check this out. Now look what we read in the book of Cave of Treasures. It spells this out. This is exactly what we read in the book of Cave of Treasures, the symbolism of Eden. I know the page cuts off a little, excuse me. Now Eden is the holy church, and the church is the compassion of God, and he was about to extend to the children of men For God, according to his foreknowledge, knew that Satan would devise against Adam, and therefore he set Adam beforehand. It just goes on in the book of Cave of Treasures. This is that order of Enoch. It's all the same. The order of Melchizedek, the order of the ancients, the called out assembly, the firstborn church that we read about in Hebrews. It's all the same thing. It's just a shadow to maintain what was ordained in the beginning to come at the end. Okay? And that is the Garden of Eden. Okay? So let's go back to the book of Lives of the Prophets, right? So, but they will be carried away by angels in the wilderness, where in the beginning the tabernacle of witness was pitched. Look at Revelation 12. Those in Judea flee to the mountains. After the Messiah is born, those in Judea flee to the mountains. They're going to the tabernacle of witness. They are going to the Garden of Eden. And this only confirms a lot of people had the tabernacle in the Torah was not a square, it was a circle, because we're on a round flat earth, and the earth is supposed to be the tabernacle in the future, so it makes perfect sense for that tabernacle to be a circle. That's very controversial teaching that's going on, but it does make sense. And here we are. This is the Garden of Eden, which is in heaven. We read about this in the first book of Adam and Eve, Cave of Treasures. I'll leave the links below, guys. It's all there. If you read the text, it's all there. So the last thing I want to show in this prophecy, so that's the rapture. They'll be raptured to the Garden of Eden. By them, in the end, the presence of the Lord will be made known. For they will give light to those who are pursued by the serpent in darkness, as at the beginning. This is astounding. This is something we don't read about in the book of Adam and Eve. We don't really read about this in the book of Cave of Treasures, or at least I haven't yet. But what this is talking about is we're going to be raptured, and then people are going to come down in their glorified light bodies, and they're going to condemn the wicked. And the prophecies tell us they're going to be laughing in their faces. And we see this in the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3. Okay? The Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, the first couple verses, goes into how the wicked, Satan just kills them, and they seem to die and be punished by men. But when the resurrection comes, look out, man. Because as gold in the furnace has he tried them and received them as a burnt offering. And in the time of their visitation they shall shine, and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. Because the wicked will be clothed with death, in vexation of spirit, poor and weak, like a physical manifestation of who they are in the spirit, just a dried branch. This is why we read in Psalm 1, for the wicked cannot stand in the congregation of the righteous. It's talking about the same thing here, guys. Talking all about the same thing. I know I'm going really fast and rambling. But amazing prophecy in the life of Habakkuk. Amazing. And this gives us insight into Revelation 12. That the order of Enoch, order of Melchizedek, firstborn church, it's all the same thing. This is the Garden of Eden. Okay? We cross-reference the Cave of Treasures. We see this in the writings of Abraham as well. So just awesome. And here we go. We see the story of Samson in the day of God's wrath. The two pillars, the wicked, and then the people, and the worst of the heathen coming out of the pit. He destroys them all in the form of the cross. It's just awesome. It's just awesome. All right, guys. God bless you. I know I'm rambling like crazy. I hope you can follow along. All right. Really amazing. This text, The Lives of the Prophets, should be studied. I just wanted to show this because many people probably couldn't piece this together much. It's really amazing. Okay. Good night. God bless you.